Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain a 2019 adventure film titled Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Heads up, spoilers ahead, you've been warned. The movie begins with little Dora singing her iconic song as she explores the Peruvian jungle with her cousin Diego and her best friend Boots. The two kids are on an adventure, running through the trees and having fun together. After their adventure ends, they join Dora's parents for dinner. Her parents, Cole and Elena, are both professors who study ancient civilizations. They tell the kids about the legend of Parapata, a mysterious lost city built by the Incas that supposedly holds incredible treasure. But Cole and Elena make it clear that finding the treasure is not something that interests them. They want to study the city's history and learn about the people who built it. That night, Dora and Diego go to bed, but both of them are sad because Diego has to leave the next morning to go back home with his family. When morning comes, the cousins say goodbye to each other. And just like that, their jungle bond expires with a handshake. 10 years pass, and Dora is now 16 years old. She still lives in the jungle with her parents and Boots, and she's still as adventurous as ever. One day, while exploring, Dora and Boots get chased by pygmy elephants and barely escape from crocodiles. During their adventure, they discover a cave with ancient Incan carvings on the walls. Inside the cave, Dora spots a golden totem sitting on the other side of a massive gap. She thinks the totem might have clues about finding Parapata, so she tries to jump across to grab it, because of course the ancient treasure sits on the other side of a death trap. But surprisingly, she lands without getting hurt. Boots runs to get her parents, and they take the golden totem back to their camp and discover there's a map carved on the back. The map appears to show the way to Parapata. Dora is thrilled because this means they're one step closer to finding the lost city. But then her parents tell her something that crushes her excitement. They explain that they're sending her to Los Angeles to live with Diego and his family so she can go to high school and experience life like a normal teenager. Dora is heartbroken, but she agrees to go. However, her parents tell her she cannot take Boots with her. Dora leaves the jungle and arrives in the big city. Everything is new and exciting to her, and she greets everyone she meets with her usual cheerful energy. She finds her aunt and uncle, then excitedly runs up to Diego and hugs him, but he's completely different now. He has become so quiet. On their first day of school together, Diego warns Dora that high school is nothing like the jungle and that she needs to be careful. When they walk through the school entrance, Dora has to go through a metal detector, and a security guard empties her backpack. Inside, she has some survival gears and a yo-yo. At school, Dora meets Sammy, the class honors student who's very competitive about grades. Diego tells Dora that Sammy always wants to be the smartest person in the room. Dora also meets Randy, a nerdy kid who immediately develops a crush on her when she shows off her knowledge about astronomy. During class, Dora gives a brilliant answer that impresses everyone. This upsets Sammy because she's used to being the only one with all the answers. Apparently, Sammy's streak of being the smartest person in the room just ended. As time goes on, Dora tries her best to fit in at school while staying true to herself. She attempts to contact her parents regularly, but eventually, they stop responding to her messages, which worries her. One night, the school has a winter dance where students are supposed to dress up as their favorite stars. While everyone else dresses up as celebrities, Dora misunderstands the assignment and dresses up as the sun. At the dance, she starts dancing in the middle of the floor, mimicking animal movements like she used to do in the jungle. She invites Diego to join her, but he's completely embarrassed in front of everyone. Dora follows him outside to see if he's okay, but Diego snaps at her and tells her she's the class weirdo. His words deeply hurt Dora's feelings, and she runs home crying. Her grandma comforts her. The next day, the class goes on a field trip to a museum for a scavenger hunt. Dora ends up in a group with Diego, Sammy, and Randy. While they're looking around, a security guard approaches Dora and offers to help them. He tells them to follow him to the storage room, where they can find answers for the scavenger hunt. But when they get there, they're ambushed by a man named Powell and his mercenaries. The security guard was working with them the whole time. Powell and his men lock the four kids inside a wooden crate. Powell tells Dora that she's going to lead them to her parents so they can find Parapata and steal its treasure. When they wake up, they're still trapped inside the crate. Dora uses her knife to pry it open, then realizes they're no longer in Los Angeles. They've been flown all the way to Peru, express delivered, shipping label not included. A man appears and introduces himself as Alejandro Gutierrez. He claims to be a friend of Dora's parents, and he came to rescue them. During the escape, Powell orders a fox named Swiper to go after them. The group runs toward a hangar, but Swiper catches up and steals the map right out of Dora's backpack. He brings it back to Powell, but Alejandro arrives just in time in a van and picks up the kids. The mercenaries chase them through the jungle until Alejandro hides everyone in a crop field. Once they're safe, Dora tells the group that they need to find her parents before the mercenaries do. Alejandro has Cole's journal. They drive as far as they can until they reach Cole and Elena's abandoned car, but there's no sign of them anywhere. As they walk, Alejandro tells them about the Lost Guardians, a dangerous ancient group of warriors dedicated to protecting Parapata. Dora also shows off her knowledge of the Incan language. Eventually, they find Cole and Elena's campsite, but it's been completely trashed, and her parents are nowhere to be found. But then, out of nowhere, Boots appears. Dora is overjoyed to see her best friend again. She tells the group she can track them using clues her parents left behind before the mercenaries get to them. The group continues walking deeper into the jungle. Suddenly, arrows start flying from the trees. The Lost Guardians are attacking them, though they remain completely hidden. 5 stars for accuracy, 0 for hospitality. The group panics and hides inside a hollow log, but it gets knocked over, and they all roll down a steep hill. Dora feels terrible about the situation, especially because Sammy is frustrated with her for getting them into this mess. Diego comforts Dora, and during their conversation, Dora figures out that Diego actually has a crush on Sammy, which makes her extremely happy despite everything. Later, they spot Powell and the mercenaries in the distance. Boots distracts them so nobody sees the kids. The mercenaries are heading in the wrong direction because her parents wrote in their notes that the passage to Parapata is through the ruins of an old opera house. As the group continues their journey, they accidentally step into quicksand. Dora stays calm and teaches her friends how to escape by relaxing their bodies and swimming out slowly. But Alejandro panics and sinks faster. To make things worse, 2 scorpions start mating on his head while he's sinking. He ends up going all the way under, but Randy notices his leg sticking out from under a rock. The kids pull him out just in time. Then Alejandro cries like a baby. It's so awkward when adults cry. Shortly after, they're found by an old woman who takes them into her home. When she hears them mention Parapata, she reacts badly. Using stone figures, she warns them that they will die if they try to find the lost city. Worst tour guide ever. Great props, terrible pitch. She offers to take them down river so they can go home safely, but Dora refuses. She's determined to find her parents no matter what. Diego and Alejandro decide to go with her, while Sammy and Randy agree to leave with the old woman. But just before they board the boat, Sammy notices something strange. The old woman has a wrist tattoo with the same symbol that was on the arrow shot by the Lost Guardians. She and Randy immediately run off to warn the others. As Dora, Diego, and Alejandro continue walking, they come across a field of giant flowers. Alejandro accidentally brushes against one, and the flowers release dust-like particles into the air. All 3 of them start hallucinating. They see themselves in the art style of the old Dora cartoon, complete with talking map and backpack characters. Alejandro completely loses his mind and starts taking off his clothes. Despite the hallucinations, Dora and Diego spot a way forward and leap across a canyon. Sammy and Randy catch them just in time as Dora regains consciousness. Diego tells Dora that he has never forgotten about their childhood adventures together. The next morning, the group keeps moving forward, but they fall through the ground and end up in an ancient aqueduct. Randy pulls a lever without thinking, and suddenly the entire place starts flooding with water. Randy remembers that he can hold his breath for up to 7 minutes. He dives down and finds the hatch to release the water. The group gets flushed down and comes up in a river. Standing by the river are Cole and Elena. Dora is thrilled to see her parents. But when she mentions Alejandro, they look confused and tell her they have no idea who he is. Alejandro was never their friend. He's been working with the mercenaries the entire time and tricked Dora into leading him to Parapata. The rescue was just a field trip with bad intentions. Powell and his mercenaries show up. They capture everyone and force them to lead them to the lost city. The group reaches a point where they can see Parapata in the distance, but they still need to find the entrance. Boots manages to free the kids from their ropes. Dora knocks out one of the mercenaries with her yo-yo, a weaponized childhood toy that's highly effective and low battery. She stumbles and rolls down a hill. Boots finds her at the bottom, and Dora breaks down. She tells Boots that she feels like this is all her fault and that she got everyone into this mess. Then, for the first time ever, Boots speaks actual words to give Dora encouraging advice. The others find her, and they all agree to work together to save her parents. The kids sneak up on Swiper and Powell, who are guarding the gate that leads into Parapata. Dora throws a golden poison frog at them, and it knocks both of them out with a single touch. Nature's got better weapons than any mercenaries. They then notice that moonlight is shining on specific tiles on the ground. 4 tiles remain lit, and Dora realizes they match constellations. She and the others pull levers that match the animal star patterns together, and the gate opens. Inside, they need to shine light in a specific way to open the next passage. But Sammy gets freaked out by spiders and drops her bowl that's holding the light. The ceiling, which is covered in spikes, starts coming down on them. Whoever designed this temple really hated visitors. The kids barely escape before getting crushed. In the next room, they accidentally step on the wrong tile, and the floor turns into a slide. They all jump just before falling onto a bed of spears below and make it to safety. They reach the treasure of Parapata. Dora knows there must be some kind of test to access it. Alejandro appears because he's been following them the whole time. Dora reads the Incan inscription on the wall and learns that the golden monkey totem requires a gift of what the Incans valued most. Alejandro is convinced it's gold, so he places a gold coin in the monkey totem's hands. Greed has always been the ultimate password. The ground starts rumbling, and the floor beneath Alejandro drops. He falls through but manages to hold on to his life. At least the temple took pity on him. Suddenly, the lost guardians emerge from the shadows with Cole and Elena. The old woman they trusted was actually the boss all along. She's Princess Kawayaka, the leader of the Lost Guardians. The Guardians take Alejandro as their prisoner. They're about to do the same to Dora and her friends, but Dora speaks to Kawayaka in the Incan language. She explains that they don't want the treasure. They only want knowledge. To prove it, Dora pours water into the monkey totem's hands instead of gold. The walls behind the totem open up, revealing the true treasure of Parapata. But Swiper ruins the moment by swiping the monkey totem, and the entire structure starts collapsing. Everyone runs for their lives, but Boots tackles Swiper and knocks him down. Dora grabs the totem and returns it to its place. The collapse stops. Everyone returns to Cole and Elena's home in the jungle for dinner. Her parents invite her to go on another expedition, but she decides to stay in the city with her new friends. Back at school, Dora, Diego, Sammy, and Randy perform a song and dance routine for their classmates, and everyone joins in. Back in the jungle, Swiper tries to steal the totem from Cole and Elena's camp, but they stop him by saying the magic words. Swiper, no swiping. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.